I'm gonna record this as fast as possible because my phone is gonna overheat and die. I want to talk about failure today because I consider myself to be a pretty successful person, but I also consider myself to be like the queen of failure because the more you try things, the more you fail at them. It's just kind of how things are gonna go. The more goals you set, the more you will succeed, but also the more you will not succeed because if you didn't try, you wouldn't never succeed a goal, if that makes sense. It's been on my mind a lot since in 2025, I accomplished a lot, okay? I got into my dream school. I graduated both high school and college at the same time, one with an associate's and one with my high school diploma. I was like top in my class and, I did a lot. And then 2026, I felt this feeling of like, oh my gosh, I'm going to college and now my goals get to get bigger and bigger and bigger. Because, as you grow, your goals will naturally escalate and you will naturally have bigger dreams, bigger aspirations. I had two really big goals for 2026, which was making my college cheer team and making my program at my university, which usually people either get into as a freshman or they get into as a junior and then they take 2 extra years. It wasn't possible for me to get in as a freshman because I didn't apply for my specific school. Like I didn't apply for the school within my school and I ended up going in second semester, so I couldn't apply that year. But I was told that I had like a guaranteed transfer type thing. That did not happen. There was a miscommunication with my somebody at the school. They told me that I had a spot in the program. I did not. And then this year I did not get into that program and I didn't make the cheer team. And I'm not going to sit here and say that that didn't suck. Like, failing sucks, but I think it's so important. And so I want to talk about my ways of getting over failure because I have failed so much in life. Genuinely, I am the queen of failure. I have done so many things that have not worked out, that have like had reprimanding issues on my life. Like the time where I was like, damn, I really miss gymnastics. Like I used to be such a good gymnast. Like I was 15 at the time. I was like, I want to get back into it. I broke both my ankles the first season I tried. Okay. That was a pretty severe form of failure because I had to relearn how to walk. I just want to interject because I forgot to finish this thought. If I didn't break both my ankles and like quit gymnastics because of it, I never would have tried it for cheer. And cheer was genuinely like the highlight of my high school experience. I met so many wonderful people that I still talk to this day, and I learned a new sport, and it's genuinely like I love that sport, and I would never have experienced any of that if I hadn't broken both my ankles. And then I got rejected from so many schools that I applied to, but the reason I got rejected from so many schools is because I only applied to schools that were out of state that had lower than 50% acceptance rate. So of course I got rejected from a lot of schools. Like that's obvious. Like for somebody to be like, yeah, I never fail, I get into every school I apply for. It's like, so what were the acceptance rates? You see what like little narrative I'm trying to spin here, but I just want to talk about how I get over certain failures because as I have just shown, I'm really good at failing. Step 1. Once you have realized that you have failed at something, your first step always needs to be to feel the feelings. Feel the shame, feel the regret, feel the sadness, feel the what ifs, feel the anger, feel it all. Because the worst thing you can do is jump right back into everything. And if you're anything like me, you're gonna want to jump right back into everything. Because my first thing when I always fail is like, I need to pivot, I need to plan. Calm down. You need to feel the feelings first. When you start to come back, you haven't felt your feelings yet, so you still feel that shame and that sadness. I think shame and regret are the two worst feelings that you can carry throughout your life because they are so low vibrational. They don't help you in any way. It just taints your future attempts because you already have this failure. And so instead of putting one foot forward and thinking to yourself, okay, let's forget about the failures of the past. We're going to work hard. We're going to shape a new future for ourselves. Instead, you're thinking to yourself, okay, I'm just going to keep pushing even though I failed and like, we'll see what happens, I guess. Like, I don't know. It makes you so unsure when you don't feel those feelings first because then you carry those feelings with you. You can't leave them if you never feel them. Your second step is going to be to pivot. I like to call this like the planning period. Like I'm writing down like how I felt about this, what I want to change. Because right now for me, I am in the planning period and the growing period because I have no idea what I'm doing now because I didn't get into my program and I didn't get onto the cheer team. So the two things that were going to occupy most of my time this next year are gone, which sucks, but also It's super freeing because now I get to explore career paths that I never would have thought of before. I'm still going to apply to my program this next year, but I get to do all these things that I normally wouldn't have gotten to do if those things had worked out. And I truly believe that everything happens for a reason. You don't have to have this same mindset. That's personally how I choose to think about it. I like to think that everything happens for a reason. And if you fail at something, it's because you're about to succeed at something even better that is meant for you. And that if you didn't get it, it's because you would have hated it. That's my motto in life, personally. So I just want to say that, especially if it's something that like you want in the future, but maybe it just wasn't for you this year. Maybe you're supposed to explore other things. You're supposed to learn new things, or there's a certain lesson that you need to learn. A big thing that gave me this mindset is getting rejected from my dream school, only to get accepted 2 months later, because at the time I knew that I was going to tie my self-worth to it if I would have gotten into the school. And I was always thinking to myself, I don't know what I'm going to do if I don't get into this school. So when I didn't get in, I learned how to live knowing that I didn't get into that school. And then once I got in, I didn't tie my self-worth to it because I knew that I would be fine without it. Next, after you are done planning, please think about how proud you should be of your failures, because most people don't even try, especially in like creative outlets. Like, think of all the writers and artists and people, filmmakers, I don't know, that had an amazing idea that never executed on it because they were scared that if they tried to transport their idea from their head to their apparatus, that it wouldn't work out. So those people never tried. So if you had an idea and you made it and it looked like good job, because most people wouldn't have made it. So that goes to my next point. You need to just start like itching away at things. You can still feel angry about your failure. Think of it as like, if you have any leftover feelings that you like felt, but you still like cling on to a little bit, use that anger to fuel your fire. Something I always like to think about is, would me in a year feel like I pivoted correctly from this failure? Would me in a year be thankful for how I responded to this failure? That's what I always ask myself, because I just want to make sure that me in the future is set up for success. And if me in the present is moping over all of my failures and everything I did wrong, me in the future is going to have nothing to work towards because me in the past didn't make any groundwork. Me in the past just got sad and hoped for something to fall into my lap. Some people do have just things like fall into their lap, okay? Sometimes that's how it works. That has never been my experience. I have never been like handed anything. I would love for that to happen. That'd be great. I don't think that you have to work for everything in life, but I do think that when you fail, you need to take specific steps and understand why you failed and understand how to fix it, because it's hard to reflect on your failures. It really is. It's hard to think about the things that made you fail and the reasons why you were inadequate at the time. Once you have accepted your failure, once you have felt all the feelings, once you've pivoted and replanned and rethought out your life and everything, there's not really much else you can do except for going about your life, trying to accomplish those little goals that lead to those big goals. And I know it sounds like it's just like get over it kind of thing, but genuinely, if you keep looking behind you, you're gonna miss what's in front of you. If you're always focusing on your past failures, you're not ever going to be able to bring the new good things into your life, okay? So now after this, I would say talk about the things that you now want, whether it's the thing that you already failed on or something slightly different or something entirely different. You are going to say to yourself every single day that you have already accomplished that thing, that that thing is already yours. You don't even care about that past thing that didn't work out anymore because you're so focused on this new thing, or you're so focused on these new things. Maybe there's multiple things. And although this seems passive and like it's like you're giving up on something, I promise you it's not. And one day you're going to look back at this event and you're going to think to yourself, thank the world that that thing that you wanted so much didn't work out, because there was something better waiting for you. You're going to think to yourself, I am so happy that I failed on that because it gave me experience to accomplish this, or it left room in my life to bring this in, or I am so happy that this didn't work out because I got something brand new that I never even dreamed of. And it can seem like a like let it go, quit it, that sort of thing. Not at all. It's genuinely just raising yourself up to move past something else. And it might hurt, you know, it might hurt to let go of that thing that you wanted so bad, But I promise you, if you didn't get something, it's always because you're either supposed to pivot and try something new, or you're supposed to come back stronger with that same thing. That's kind of all I had to talk about today. And for now, I hope you enjoy your day. Thank you guys so much for watching. If I see you again, cool. Bye.